morning, everyone. There we are. Hello, everybody. I'm on early again. I like to make sure everything is working. Wait for a few people to get on here and I'll explain what I'm doing today. Hope everyone's having a good day. It is gorgeous again here where I live, nice and sunny. Just a second here. Okay. I don't know if anybody will hop on today. We shall see. I'll give it until 10 o'clock before I start talking about what I'm going to do. And then we will go from there. You'll notice a little different setting. I'm up in my kitchen, closer to my Wi-Fi room, or whatever you want to call it, where my router is and everything. So it might actually be a little bit better today for no glitching. Nine minutes. Just want to tell a few people that I'm live. Seven minutes. Okay. Let me know if you're here. Say something in the comments. I've shut my dogs out of my kitchen, so I can hear Apollo snuffling under the door. Hi, Nicole. Thanks for coming. 6 more minutes and then I'll get going. Even if there's not a lot of people in here, I'll get going at 10. It's a beautiful day here in Maple Ridge. My flowers are loving it. My husband keeps coming home with hanging baskets, and it just looks gorgeous out my back door. Oh no, rain in the middle of May. That's not fun. We had some, was it yesterday or the day before, we had rain. And I know the ground needs it, but still, in the middle of May, I want sunshine. I don't know how popular this video is going to be, especially when I didn't give any info. But after the video's over, I'll change the title and everything. And oh, so you guys needed it. Well, that's good then. Can you hear me okay, Nicole? I'm using my my little Bluetooth mic again, and it wasn't working so hot last time, so just want to be sure. Oh, good. Oh, that's good to know. My husband and I had to haul up a bunch of stuff yesterday so that I could have good lighting. But you're never sure until someone tells you that you sound okay and look okay. I have to stand for this video, as you can see, so it won't be as long as my sewing videos. I can't stand for terribly long. I was hoping the cute little picture of my little doggy would prompt people to show up. That's my Mr. Bingley, my Pomeranian. He's slowing down quite a bit. It's hard to watch, but he's still my little baby. Let me know if this fan needs to be turned off too, because sometimes it'll cause feedback in the mic. Yeah, they should live forever. They should outlive me because I'd rather that than the reverse. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. So, surprise, surprise, I'm making soap today just for something different. And I also made a batch yesterday, which I will be able to cut for you all today. Today I am going to be making soap with this fragrance oil from Marouge, and it is called Oud and Bergamot. I don't know if you can see that. Oud and Bergamot. And Marouge, I forgot to look it up today, but I believe it is Canadian. Yeah, www.marouge.ca. They're from Saskatoon. So that's what I'm using. It's paraben free. What else does it say here? Yeah, so that's what I'm using in my soap today. So, safety. I have been doing soap for years. It's important that you glove up because you are using lye. It's also important that you have glasses on because you don't want to get lye in your eye. And I should be wearing long sleeves. If I was a teacher, I would be, but I'm not teaching, I'm just showing. And I should be wearing long pants as well. Again, if I was a teacher, that's what I would be doing. And I should be doing it, honestly, but I'm too hot. I would just be sweating through the entire video if I did that. Now, what else do I need to tell you before we get started? I think that's it. I have I measured out my oils yesterday and melted them all down. I also measured out my lye water yesterday so that it would be nice and cool when I came to do the soap today. That's how I like to soap. Not everybody likes to soap at room temperature. There are some people that like to soap at around 80 degrees. Some people like to actually put their butters in one container and melt it with their lye solution as soon as it's mixed up because it gets very, very hot. And then once that's all melted up, they put their liquid oils into it and they soap that way. I have never felt that that worked very well for me because I had to work really, really fast before the soap kind of seized up on me. And that's another thing you have to know about soap is there are no guarantees that it's not going to seize up. So if you see me starting to get a little hurried, it's because my soap is getting thick really quick. I have worked with this fragrance oil before and it did not seize up. So hopefully it will cooperate today as well. So I'm gonna put my other camera on because it's leaned down towards the table and we'll get going. There we go. Okay, whoops, get my mouse out of the way here. Here are my oils. Here's my lye solution. And this is my fragrance oil right here. So what I like to start to do, because I've got my stick blender here, what I like to do, I put additives into my oils. I put kale and clay and coconut milk powder. I used to put colloidal oatmeal in here, but it was so difficult to find during COVID. And then when I did find it, the price had just skyrocketed. So I had to cut down to just the kale and clay and the coconut milk powder. I've also used milk powder, like just cow's milk powder or cow cream powder. Any type of powder, like milk powder, is going to make it just a nice, smoother texture. And it might even help the bubbles a little bit more. So I'm just going to mix this up first because they do have the additives in there. Plug your ears if it's loud. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, now I like to mix this up because I do put, what's it called? Sodium lactate in here. It helps the soap harden up faster, and it also gives it some lather. I was actually reading some history on soap making yesterday. I'll have to see if I can bring that up again. Oops, hang on a second. Let me just unclick this. You don't like to... It's a new mixer, I apologize. You don't want this to accidentally tip over. Like that. Only it might have been a disaster if it was still attached. So, as it stands right now, this soap batter is very burny. You don't want to get it on you now. It is no longer just oil. I'm going to fill up this container with water. Put that right there. Okay, so now we're going to mix the lye and the oils together. Just until it comes together. You don't want to mix too much, because if you mix too much, that's going to end up causing it to thicken up too quickly, and that seizing thing could happen. Okay, so here goes my fragrance oil. Just mix that in gently. Not too much. Now, I'm going to pour a little bit into each of these smaller containers here. Okay. And I am going to add some mica from Be Scented, which I wouldn't be able to order from right now anymore because she's in the States, but this is called cotton candy mica. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. And this is from Be Scented as well. It's turquoise green mica. Might as well get those off the table. Now, I'm going to click this back in and mix. You can see what I'm doing here. Now the turquoise. Okay. There we go. I looked up Oud and Bergamot, and Oud is kind of brown. Come on. This is a new blender, in case you hadn't realized that. And I didn't have any brown mica or anything, so I couldn't put the brown in. And then Bergamot is just like a green, I think it's just a green plant. And it does, if it does bud, it's like pinky purplish buds, I think. So that's why I'm going with the green and the pink. Just like to mix these all up because the mixer doesn't always get into the very edges of the, I'll put that in there, of the container. So now this is, I'm going to be doing what's called a hanger swirl. And that is where you take your container, okay? And we start by putting a little bit of the plain soap batter in the bottom. And then you start just layering it up with the other colors. It's a messy job, but somebody's got to do it. Some more of this. More of the green. I don't want it to look like Christmas, so I hope it doesn't when I'm done. Okay. Okay, so now what I do is I take this little thing and I put it in down into the soap like this, and I swirl it back and forth a few times, go up and around and then back and forth. And it usually makes a really nice swirl. Just get rid of this. Wipe my hands off a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to leave that, but I will put some of this. I like to make lines down like this and then make a little design on top. Same with the pink. This is actually really good fragrance oil. It's behaving very nicely. I hope my rouge is still open because I'm going to have to get some more. Okay, so now what I like to do is I take just this little stick here and I do a little pattern on the top. Pound it down so that there's no air bubbles. And I'm going to put it over here for now. I'm going to spray it with some rubbing alcohol, and that stops, usually helps stop anyways, something called soda ash. My formula for my soap, I don't have to worry too terribly much about soda ash because I have a 2-to-1 ratio oil to water. So it doesn't usually cause soda ash, but some soaps it does, and it is definitely that. It's just like this ashy look that's on top of the soap. It's kind of a grayish look. It's not, doesn't hurt you, but it just doesn't look as vibrant. So now I'm going to add the rest of the soap into this bucket. Just in a bit of a swirl pattern. Same with this one. Now, for anybody who is new to soap, you do not want to just take these containers that you've used to make soap and just rinse it down your drain. It will clog your pipes. So what I like to do instead is wipe it out really, really well with a cloth, and then I wash my dishes. You can also wait until the next day when it's actually soap and not soap batter, and you can then wash your dishes. Okay, and I'm going to make, can you see that? I'm going to make some little hearts. I have a friend of mine whose grandson absolutely loves my heart soaps, so I like to make them for him. And he loves it when they're colorful like this, so. Okay. Sorry about that. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, but I'm right-handed, so I kind of have to pour this way. I like to clean out my buckets as well as I possibly can, because I start thinking, okay, well, if I didn't scrape that out, that's at least one hand wash. So, and nothing is cheap nowadays, so. Okay. So, I'm going to get rid of all of these dishes. Get them out of the way for now. Clump this down a little bit. That over there. Get rid of this. And I'm going to, spray the hearts with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to clean up the table, and then I'll cut that soap that I made yesterday. There we go. It's my soap cutter. This is the soap I made yesterday, and it is called Bamboo Showers. See that? I used that same turquoise and a dark green. Look at that, came out nice. I also made some hearts. There we go. It is fun. I love making soap. And we were down to the dregs, I tell you, because we only use my soap. And there was a soap that I made, the last soap I made, it seized up really bad, which had never happened to me before with that particular essential oil. I used lemongrass and it had never done that before. So that's why I say there's there's no telling what may happen. So that's from yesterday. Let's get this into here. Make sure. Okay. There you go. That's the first one. And that I did the hanger swirl as well. Sometimes if you do it right, you can put 2 bars of soap together and it'll look like a butterfly. Oh, did you? Aw. I love making soap. And the last bar, right there. So, let me just put you back onto my face. Where is my, hold on now. Whoops, can't find my mouse. Where's my mouse? Come on. There we go. There. And we're done. That's all she wrote. So, yeah. I'll try to post how this one turns out from today. I'll post a couple bars on my Facebook page. Just Dawn Bush. Okay. And, yeah, that was fun. Short, but that's soap making for you. I really, really wanted to have one done before I did this new soap today because I wanted to show you how it turns out. So that was fun. Thank you for joining me, Nicole. I appreciate you so much. And I am going to get going here. Go sit down. I have a beef stew that I have to make for a couple that is not doing so very well. So I'm going to get going on that next. And then I've got some flower shopping and vegetable shopping to do at the nursery. I'm going to plant some cherry tomatoes and I've got an idea for our backyard with flowers. So yeah. So have a great day, Nicole. Thank you so much for joining me on the live. And if anybody watches this afterwards, please put a comment down below. Let me know that you've seen it. Tell me what you think of this type of video. I know it's not the normal bag making thing, but let me know what you think. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.